Every single person has their own issues and their own hardships. It's not about comparing, it's not a competition, but we have to understand that every single person's hardships are different, especially when we're talking about the black race.
Pulling up, being on swerving. Bad bitch pushing on curving. Run it up like a nigga earning. Gotta check, now a nigga smurfing. Pull up in a rose, now she wanna roll. Everybody talking, but they coming to the shows. Pull up in a rose, now she wanna roll. Everybody talking, but they coming to the shows.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's IZZA and we're back in the building in the gap. Okay, before we begin, make sure you're subscribed. Why? Because I upload a video every Monday, Wednesday and Friday without fail. This is another episode of Rantdom Talks with my Rantdom Talk series. If you don't know what this series is, this is where I talk about random topics. It could be absolutely anything and I rant and I just give my opinion on it. Today's topic was actually requested by the lovely Joelle, so shout out to you, thank you so much, and I really like this question. But today's question is, do you think colorism affected you growing up? Before I talk about my opinion, I'm just going to give you guys a definition just in case there's anybody who doesn't know the exact definition of colorism. Colorism is prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically amongst people of the same ethnic or racial group. Do I think colorism affected me growing up? 100%, absolutely. I think growing up there were so many things that I saw and so many things that I experienced that I didn't necessarily realise would affect me so much. I'll start off from just like growing up as a young buck. One thing that always used to happen, and I never really used to take note of it until I got older, was the majority of my friends were a lot lighter than me, right? When I was like in primary school, secondary school, and I just remember like all the boys would like lust after them. Like the guy, I know we were like 8 or 9, but all the guys were really attracted to those girls. Those lighter skinned girls get so many compliments. Now do not get me wrong, they were beautiful. There was also a time when people would compliment on their skin and it was, your skin is so beautiful, your skin is glowing. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't get comments like that when I was younger. I'm not gonna lie, the face didn't make 100% sense. Bruh. It was a little bit of a pandemic at some point. The pandemic. Apart from like my mum, I didn't really get that reinforcement from people outside where people would tell me that my skin is beautiful, you know. The only time I would hear that your skin is beautiful was when it was to like my lighter skin friends or my brown skin friend. I guess subconsciously it's something that I actually registered and I took note of. I remember for a very long period I wanted to be a lot lighter and I used to think, okay cool, so if white people tan to get darker, then if dark people tan they should get lighter. Don't ask me what the science is, don't ask me who taught me that, where I learned that. This was just my own freaking, you know, analogy. Another thing that played a massive role in, especially growing up, was like shows. From what I remember, the darker skinned girl was either always like the dumb friend on the side or the aggressive one. When I think about all of the shows that I saw growing up, one, there were no black people. Like we already knew this, there were no black people, or if they were, the people who looked like me weren't the super cool funny kids, or like weren't the ones that people looked up to. From a dance standpoint, I think I definitely felt it more. I wouldn't say it was, I think it was just more discrimination. If you guys don't know, I started off with classical training, so I started with ballet, tap and modern. Those were my main styles when I first got into dance, and I started at a very young age, so I was always used to being the minority in the group. I was always used to being the one black girl, and there were so many people, and I don't want to say anything of comparing, but I am, because it's my channel, but there were so many people who were not as capable as I was when it came to my technique or when it came to my performance skills, yet they were getting more opportunities. For every 7 jobs a lighter skinned girl got or a white girl got, I got 1 job. And it was so funny because for every 7 jobs that they didn't get, that 1 job I would get. And I just would have thought, okay, maybe maybe now I would have proven myself and I can, you know, you can push me out there. But it didn't happen. When I auditioned for Lion King, I almost didn't audition for it because I wasn't put forward for it. But I fit the criteria. I was the right height, I was the right colour, I could sing, I could dance, I could act. Yeah, I wasn't put forward until my mum was like, okay, hold up, wait a minute, it's a 22.
Hold up, wait a minute, it's a 22.
So you've got this audition, you've got somebody who fits the mould, yet you've put forward a lighter skinned girl. That doesn't make any sense at all. As a dark skinned girl, I just didn't feel welcomed. I didn't feel accepted. I don't get put forward for jobs that I fit the criteria for, but I get put for jobs that I don't fit the criteria for, so obviously I'm not going to get the job. When I'm watching TV and I'm seeing shows, I'm seeing girls who look like me who are like aggressive or like a bit stupid or who are just always in the background. And then the only black girls that I see like who are popular, who look like me, are stush or a little bit, you know, rude. So it's like already those things feed into you, and I definitely feel like that definitely rubbed off into me. And like even when I started getting older and I started watching like the Tyra Banks show, and there was one that they were talking about like guess my ethnicity. So let's say this woman was Blasian, people would constantly say that she was Hispanic. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand that you don't want to be misidentified, but she then went on to say like, I have to go through so many things and blah de blah de blah. And there was one lady, a dark skinned lady, who stood up and was talking about it.
In America, we all go through hard times and struggles, but to be a darker skinned African American woman versus someone who is assumed to be mixed, my struggles are definitely a lot harder than yours would be. I heard you say that, you know, people assume that you're mixed, and then that you go and they say, where are you from? Are you from Indonesia? The excitement that they feel for you is the contempt that they feel towards me. When I walk into a room, I'm slave black, that's it. That means I'm dark.
What is slave black?
That means that I'm really dark skinned. There's no other way. All the bad stuff associated with black people.
I have been black for 34 years. I have never heard slave black.
You know, like sometimes you can pass maybe for mixed or maybe white. When you're slave black, you can't pass for anything other than black.
Did you make this up?
It was very, very obvious, and it was very, very clear as to why she used that word. And I just saw the way that the audience reacted. I saw the way that Tyra reacted, and they kind of laughed it off. As dark-skinned women, there are certain things that I will go through that lighter-skinned women will not go through. And it's not a competition of who goes through the biggest hardship, but it's just a reality. That can help you, because when you get pulled over, they don't see a dark-skinned woman, they don't see a black woman. When you go into job interviews, they don't see a black woman. Whereas me, when we go to job interviews, they see a black woman. When I go to auditions, they see a black woman. When you see me walking down the street, before you see anything, you see a black woman. That adults, it wasn't even just a thing of children who just do it out of ignorance and don't know, but adults will genuinely undermine a dark-skinned woman and be like, okay, but we're all black and we all go through the same thing. No, we don't. We go through different stuff, we have different hardships, and we have different challenges. So I think it's very, very important that yes, every single person has their own issues and their own hardships. It's not about comparing, it's not a competition, but we have to understand that every single person's hardships are different, especially when we're talking about the black race. Let me just call off because I didn't realize I was gonna get so much in it. I'm so happy I didn't bleach my skin or do any of those things. I was out in the sun when I was younger, so I was getting darker, you know, melanin glistening. I am now able to see the beauty of my skin, the beauty of who I am, of what I am. Black is beautiful. Whether it's 2% black or 100% black, black is beautiful. Everyone is beautiful. All races are beautiful. We just have to realize colorism is a thing. And we have to realize, yo, it's not a competition of who's gone through the most stuff and who has the most issues, because I'm not trying to win that. So guys, we've come to the end of the video. As always, I enjoyed filming it, so if I enjoyed filming it, you enjoyed watching it, so give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what other videos you'd like to see, and if I do film your video, you will be getting your own personal shouts out. Share this video with at least one person, because if you all did that, we'll be past the goal of 1K and onto a new goal of 10K, baby. Follow me on my social media, it's right over here, for daily updates, another look into my life, and to send in your question for my rant and talk series like this one. Guys, also in the comments down below, let me know what you think. What are your views on colorism? Did you have to experience anything growing up? Because I really would love to hear your opinion. Watch my last video, it's right over there. As always, I love you guys so much, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye. Mwah.
I heard the man say, one day I don't play. From Monday to Sunday, I heard a man say, one day I don't play. From Monday to Sunday.